This video is just a setup for a preview on a tutorial I'm going to do on a survey Rails app module. So here is a little preview by showing you a mini version I built within my CV website. So you have a little modal and you can ask different questions such as who's your favorite monster from the Godzilla franchise? My personal favorite is King Caesar. Okay. All right. The name of this series of children's book is it Berenstain Bears, Berenstein Bears, or is it Aliens? It's probably Aliens. Okay. What kind of phone do you best relate to? An iPhone, an Android phone, or a Zach Morris phone? Say Zach Morris phone. Where would you want to live? Western Europe. Okay, great. The star that NASA recently announced in the news with the unexplainable dimming, is it most likely an alien megastructure, an unknown natural phenomenon, which is most likely this, and also I put a what, because a lot of people might not know what it is. I'm going to say I don't think I've ever clicked what yet, so I'm going to click this. All right. Oh, I guess I've never clicked this actually. Okay, I'm more of a dog person, cat person, or bird person. I guess dog person. Okay, great. So the module's done, and then now it's gone. So let me show you a little part. Hold on one second. Here is the JavaScript that's mostly runs all of the interaction that you saw, and what I'm going to show you is how to build a very self-containing module. Okay, so this module doesn't interfere with other code because everything is local. So everything that you'll need to do will be cached, and all the DOM elements, and all the functions I'll show you can also be placed within this module, so that when you open this survey module, this module actually is created, and then when you're done with it, the JavaScript runtime engine can actually discard all the malloc data. And malloc, if you don't know, depends on who you are, is essentially a C term actually for allocating memory within RAM. This is the controller, which actually returns each poll result, and this is the schema for the polls model. Now you're going to see right here this integer next is actually how it goes from each question to each question is when the last question is made, the next integer will be null, but when you go into the next question, when you add another question, it will add the ID, the primary ID of that, a little bit deeper to explain that a good reason to have another whole app is some of the hacks I added into this one model, because I didn't want to expand it too much considering the size of my app. So for example, when you saw when I hovered over a different object and a certain question that's underlined, and then that picture would pop up. I'll show you how I added that. So it's a poll dot find to. I think that has one of them. Okay. All right. So option 3, you'll see. I embedded the data. For example, you see the aliens is the text right here, and that the actual picture is right after that. And how you do that is essentially you split the string into an array given the regular expression of, I think you call these @ symbols, like 2 @ symbols. And that way you're able to embed those pictures within it. And also, if you do embed those questions on JavaScript on the front end when it builds it, it actually looks for, yes, see, it looks for if this even exists, and then it splits it and it puts it in there. Well, actually, it splits it, and if its length is greater than 1, then you know that it's embedded data. If it's only 1, for example, if you do a split on a string but it doesn't have the regular expression, then index 0, it'll be just an array of index 0 of the same string, and it'll be no different except for the fact that to access that string again, if you do assign it to a variable, you would have to do index 0 that way. Anyways, let me show you 1 second. Here's a little mock-up explaining how this app will probably work. Now, I only spent maybe 10 minutes on this and I didn't really think it through. So when the tutorial comes around, it might not actually be modeled this way. But essentially, the app will have a user model and a poll model. 1 second, actually, you can't. Of course, before I talk about the user model, I'd like to explain a little bit about the poll model right here. And the poll model is essentially it is the parent of several other more specific poll types that have their own type of attributes that are unique to theirs. Whereas mine, I actually ended up embedding data in the schema. This looks just like a normal question, but it just so happens I might have to check for a regular expression that I chromatically put in there. This would have very distinct and unique to that poll model, and a poll model essentially just has many of picture polls, video polls, text polls, React polls, Boolean polls. And each of these polls have their own attributes and how it's supposed to be created on the front end. Additionally, there will be a user model, and this user model will, so users will be content creators, and they also have answers as well for, like, users will have many answers and will have many questions. And each question will only have, well, each question model will have many answers, but the answer modal will only have 1 user and 1 question it belongs to. So it's unique to that. And the question model will belong to each of these poll types, and which also, through association, belongs to the poll model. And essentially how you'll be able to see it is there'll be a bunch of polls, and maybe you can go through specific types of polls or all polls and just answer questions or create a random question. And it's a social polling website. And how this is the back end, but for the front end is we'll use D3 for not only using the SVG for all the pictures and interaction. For example, what you saw in this app, I was using DOM elements. When you hover over a picture or a question and the background changes color, what I was thinking is maybe we'll use it all D3. And if you want to know, like, D3 kind of looks like something like this. This is not DOM elements. These are just SVG on a canvas, and it paints it out. And it will look a lot better and can show the different poll results and maybe pick out different types of data. It'll be a small and very simple app, and I'm assuming that the tutorial will probably only be 3 hours long. So anyways, I guess just keep in mind, like bookmark my page. I'll upload this soon. All right, thanks.